Hey everyone, Jerry Cherry Pie here. Now I know what you're thinking. Jerry, is that a gun in your pocket or are you happy to see me? Well, thanks to the Springfield Hellcat, I can finally say both. Check that out. The Springfield Hellcat, the newest gun in what manufacturers are calling the micro compact style. Let's take a closer look. And here we have it, the Springfield Hellcat. This gun is quite simply amazing, and I think it's perfect for the purpose that it was built for. It has got a 3-inch barrel, which is very, very small. It's a little too small for new shooters, so if this is going to be your first gun or you plan on using it your main gun, really, really look into getting lessons from an instructor to make sure that you can hit targets consistently, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time with this gun. The smaller the barrel, the more power is going to go into your hand when you shoot it. So it's going to hurt if you're trying to train a lot. And if you don't get lessons, you're going to miss a lot. So definitely get lessons. For everybody else, that should not be an issue. This gun is micro compact. So it's designed to be shot in 20-foot range scenarios. So you're not going to be shooting 100 yards, 50 yards, 25 yards, anything like that. You could, but it's not going to be accurate up to that far. So the barrel size should not be an issue for anybody that's experienced. It has very nice grips all along the sides here where your fingers should be if you have it held correctly. It has some grips here at the front, which again, you hold your hand perfectly like you're supposed to. Everything's where it needs to be. It's very nice feeling. They call it the adaptive texturing. I'm not sure that's any better than grip tape or stippling, but it feels very nice. It has with it a 13+1 and an 11+1 magazine. That means by default with the 13+1, you can have up to 14 rounds in this gun. You load it, you put one in the chamber, you take the magazine out, you load one more, and now you have 13 there and one there, 14 total. It has a hole on top for your loaded chamber indicator. So if you turn it up, you'll be able to see the hole and the brass through it. That means there's a round in there, which is not really a big deal because you should always treat every gun as it's loaded. But it's just a quick little check. If you don't want to open the slide a little bit, you can just quickly see, oh yeah, it's loaded, good to go. It has a reversible magazine. By default, it will be on the left side, but you can take it out and put it on the right-hand side. It has a Picatinny mount on the bottom, so if you any of your 1913 style Picatinny accessories will fit it. It's kind of cool, not necessary. Again, for this small of a gun, you're going to be shooting in 20-foot tight radiuses, so needing lasers and lights is really not necessary. You can just quickly draw it, point your finger, and just about be on target. So it's cool to have, but don't if you're new to guns and you're using a light or a laser to try to be accurate, it's like an oxymoron almost, because if you know how to shoot, the laser does nothing. And if you don't know how to shoot, the laser could be on target, but when you pull the trigger, you're not on target when you finish firing the gun. So not necessary. It's got front serrations on the front and on the back. And if you have the non-optic model, the serrations go all the way across the top. I have the OSP model. So I took my plate off and I put the Swamp Fox Sentinel on there, which I'll have another video for that, but it fits perfectly. It co-witnesses perfectly. You can see the sights, the rear and the front through the optic. You don't have to do any special cuts or mounting. Everything that comes with the Swamp Fox sight just works right out the box. Very nice. And it's a $300 sight. The trigger pull by default is about 5.5, 6 pounds, somewhere around there. I don't like that. I always upgrade my triggers because I've been shooting for years. I use the Powder River Precision spring kit. There is also an Apex brand that came out now, but I don't like their style triggers. So this gets it down to about 4.5 pounds, depending on the metal. You know, you just get natural variances in metal, and as you use it, it'll go down some more. But it has no external safety, which a lot of new shooters and a lot of women don't like, because they feel like if it's safe is on, then the gun's not going to go off. But honestly, that's not necessary. For most of your modern handguns don't have external safeties like the rear thumb safety anymore, because just the internals, there's safeties built throughout the entire gun. So if you drop it, it's not going to accidentally go off. it's just adds one more layer in a life or death situation. You have to remember to pull the gun, take the safety off, then fire. In a life or death stressful situation, if you're not an operator, if you're not practicing day in and day out, then that's one more thing you have to remember to take off. And that could mean getting hurt or killed. So if you need an external safety, this gun does not have an option currently, but it does have a trigger safety. So what that means is when it's cocked and ready to fire, you'll see this little tiny tab sticking out the front. If you try to pull the trigger without pressing that tab, you can't go. You're gonna have to pull the trigger in the correct firing position, and then you can be able to fire. That's the only kind of safety it has, and that's all you really need. And the slide stop and the slide takedown lever, they're both very thin, very low profile. So if you're using it like in a pocket or in a pocket holster, in a purse, it won't get caught. Now, if you are putting it, you should not put it in your pocket. I did at the beginning of the video, but it was safe when I did it. I did it just for the introduction. Any gun that's in your pocket, if you're pulling it out and it's loaded, you could accidentally pull the trigger and have an accidental discharge. So make sure you put it in a holster, and then if you have a holster, that slide stop won't really matter. But as you're shooting it, or if you're just carrying it, the gun is so low profile, it feels very nice. Now, a lot of new shooters might not like that because they kind of get trained into calling that a slide release. So if you shoot your last round, the slide stays back, and then you push that down to let the slide go forward. That's kind of creating bad habits. So the manufacturers officially call it a slide stop. All that's designed to do is when you shoot your last round and the magazine's in there, it keeps the slide from going forward. So you know that it's empty, and you can just slap a new magazine in, pull the slide, and let it go forward easier. So if you're complaining about that not being big to easily release the slide, this gun is not for you. If you're a new shooter, this gun is not for you. And if you're gonna cry about it shooting, when you hurting your hand when you shoot it for practicing, this gun is not for you. This gun is very small, so I'm telling you right now, it will hurt. It's snappy. It's not bad. I've shot it. I can have no problems with it. But if this is going to be your first gun, it's going to hurt to train with it, and it's going to be very hard to hit because of the small barrel. I would really recommend this gun for somebody who already knows how to shoot and is looking to supplement their main carry gun with something so small that they can hide very easily. As you saw, I'm a 6-foot man, about 200 pounds. I put it in my pocket. You couldn't even barely see it. You can easily conceal it and have a lot of firepower. If you're a new shooter, I really do recommend you get a full size or a medium size barrel, like a 4-inch or a 5-inch, and become proficient with those first before you look into getting this. This gun is very cheap. It's about $500. With the craziness going on right now, election, some people are selling at $550 or $600. But you can get it about $500 all day long if you just wait for the right price. And if you are going to get this as your first gun and main gun, there's nothing wrong with that. You can shoot with it. You'll be able to. And you should take lessons as a new shooter. When I go to the range, I see new people who go to the range. They'll shoot. There'll be holes like literally all over their target. They're not hitting anything. They're not taking lessons. When they ask the range people how much is a lesson. Most rangers are going to charge anywhere from about $50 an hour for lessons. And to them, they think that's a lot. But this is something that could save your life. So if you're not going to learn, don't get this gun. Get a medium-sized gun. For everybody else, and you go in knowing that this gun is designed to be concealed and have as much ammo as you can in a small package. For a man, it fits perfectly in my hands. 14 rounds. Great gun. Great quality. Amazing price. I wholeheartedly recommend it for everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to my future videos. I'll go over some of the accessories like my holsters that I use for it and this Swamp Fox optics. Bye.